Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. Of course, it's Sunday. Today we're going to be taking a look at a great little catalog from a band that I love a lot. I've actually been wanting to review this catalog for a bit, but it's always challenging when you're reviewing a current band that's still pumping out albums fairly regularly, right? You get ready to do an album ranking, and you're like, oh, I just heard they have a new album coming out in 6 months. So you're like, all right, I guess I'll wait. And then I guess I'll wait. And that's been the case with this band. The band is Lucifer, a very cool group, Swedish, German band who kind of formed out of the ashes of another really cool band called The Oath. And Johanna Sadanis was one of the lead singers in The Oath. After that band kind of fizzled, she started the band Lucifer. Today, currently in the band, we've got Nikki Anderson, who I believe is her husband now, right? And of course, Nikki, notorious for being part of the Helicopters and Entombed, drummer, also plays guitar and bass and keyboards and things. You got Martin Norden and Linus Bjorklund on guitars and Harold Gothblad on bass. That's like the current lineup of the band. This lineup has been together for a couple of years. Originally started out as basically a doom band, especially on their first album. The Oath was fairly doomy as well. But they've morphed into an interesting hybrid where they still retain some doom elements. But for the most part, this is very 70s, late 60s, early 70s, psychedelic hard rock music. There's elements of pop. There's certainly elements of the occult, if you look at a lot of their song titles and lyrics. But, Johanna is just such a great singer. And she definitely, her spirit comes from like that late 60s kind of like psychedelic pop scene or garage rock scene. And the music of the band kind of follows suit. So while some of it is big and heavy and doomy and dark, some of it's actually lots of fun and psychedelic. And you kind of get like this cool variety throughout their whole catalog, which I think is really great. And their songs are so approachable and accessible. That's what I love about them. They rock hard, but yet they're very easy to get into, very, very memorable. So they've got 5 records out. Not a weak one to be found here. This was really, really difficult trying to rank this catalog because I really love all these albums a lot. So I had to like kind of go back and revisit them and start kind of picking hairs here and splitting hairs here because any of these albums could easily be a number one for me any given day of the week. So I'm going to start here with the 2021 release, which is Lucifer 4. Okay, that's this one right here. So this is the same lineup that appeared on the third album, and it's the same lineup going forward. Takes balls to go with a cover like that, right? If the name of the band wasn't bad enough, right? Because I know some people take issue with a band name like this, right? I know I get a lot of UK people like, I can't believe folks in the US are bothered by names like that. I'm like, it's the truth. There's a reason why Lucifer and like Satan and stuff like aren't bigger bands here because, there's so many people who just have issues with a somewhat satanic, a satanic name of a band, right? Or something that's really dark and evil sounding. But even though the band's music really doesn't portray their name all that well, it's some dark stuff in spots. But I think anybody, if you just forget the name of the band and just listen to these albums, you'll think, oh, that's really good. Yes, of course it is. But that's the cover, right? Which this is not going to be a top 10 Billboard chart with that cover right there. But man, some great songs on here. You got Archangel of Death. Just oozes groove and psychedelic goodness. So good. The guitars are really tasty. Wild Hearses is a big, soaring, gothic, doom, psych, pop mashup. Great chorus. You got the catchy Crucifix, I Burn For You. Excellent song there. Bring Me His Head is straight out of 1972. So much of this music just sounds like so rooted in like retro 70s. It's amazing. Reminds me a little bit of the early Alice Cooper group. So if you like those early Alice Cooper band albums, maybe with a touch of like British glam, that song's like that. Mausoleum, get this creepy church organ starting it all off. It's big and doom-laden. Love that. Crushing riffs and organ on Cold as a Tombstone. Then you got Louise, which is a crisp, upbeat hard rocker. The dark, melancholy Nightmare, which again has in a song this melancholy, it still has really good hooks. That's what I love about this band. The hooks are everywhere. Johanna is just soaring to the heavens on the somber Orion, another cool track. And then you get loads of like screaming lead guitar and cool riffing going on Phobos, which is the really engaging closer on here. I think it's a really good album. Just in revisiting all these again, it might be my least favorite of all of them, but it's still really, really good. On to number 4. So I'm going to go to Lucifer 3 from 2020. Yeah, they've been pretty busy since the start of the pandemic. So again, same lineup. Johanna, Nikki, Martin, Linus, and Harold. Pretty much, this album is pretty much a straight-up psychedelic hard rock album, and a really good one at that. Really no doom to speak of on this record at all, but it's you almost don't even miss it, really. Ghosts, Midnight Phantom start the album off. Both catchy, crisp, hard rock songs with that cool, like late 60s psych element, which I think is really neat, very integral part to their sound. Johanna sounds terrific on here. She sounds right in her element singing this type of thing. A lot of ripping guitars, short solos all throughout those first 2 tracks, really good. Then you got Leather Demon, which is kind of bluesy and gloomy. The title track, Lucifer, took them 3 albums to actually come out with a song titled Lucifer. That's awesome. Fast-paced, ripping guitars on that. Really memorable anthem. Really good song. And I think her vocals are just like, I don't know, deliciously ominous. Is that like even a term? I don't know. Really, really good stuff. Pacific Blue, or Blues, I should say, also really good. Really memorable. Nice twin guitars on here. Coffin Fever is another good one. Good riffing on there. Flanked by Snakes, not Stakes, is another good, like, kind of up-tempo psychedelic rock with some boogie elements. Really good. Stay Astray, again, reminds me of, like, early 70s Alice Cooper. Very cool track. Great anthem. And then you got Cemetery Eyes, which is the big melancholy closer. Really good. Another winner of an album. Cool cover on that as well. Yeah, good stuff. All right, number 3. I'm going to go with the debut, Lucifer. Again, comes hot on the heels on the Ashes of the Oath. Johanna is joined by the early lineup of the band, none of whom are still in the band today. Still very trippy, psychedelic hard rock and doom, but easily the most doom-oriented album in their catalog. Abracadabra, terrific opener. It's lively, it's catchy, it's heavy, just a really good song. Purple Pyramid, more doomy, more riff-laden. Her vocals are just outstanding. She's such a great singer, just love her to death. You got Israel, real melancholy. Sabbath is pure doom. I mean, as is White Mountain. Both of these tunes just kind of crush, just pummel through. Just really, really good song. But I love her like angelic lead vocals on top of all this big, hefty riff-a-rama stuff. Really good. Morning Star is a total crusher. Reminds me of Candlemass. Very good song. And it has like this pummeling breakdown late in the song, which is just amazing. Amazing. You got Total Eclipse, more monolithic doom, and then a Grave for Each One of Us is another crusher with big riffs, screaming wah-wah guitar solos. I think it's an excellent debut. They would never really do another album quite like this, but it's just awesome stuff. All right, my number 2. I'm going to go with the latest album, Lucifer 5. From 2024, just came out a couple months ago. Fallen Angel kicks off the album. What an ass kicker of an opener. Big galloping riffs, pounding drums, screaming leads, and a fiery, fiery Johanna vocal. A must hear for Candlemass fans. So, so good. Then you got At the Mortuary, which is just a doom classic in the making. All those trademark Lucifer hooks. But big, big, heavy riffing. Really good. You got the ultra catchy and groovy Riding Reaper. Slow Dance in a Crypt. More that kind of melancholy type stuff that they do so well. Immaculate Heart brings in that like late 60s garage rock psychedelic pop element. Excellent song. And what a killer chorus. You'll be singing that one for days. Really good. A Coffin Has No Silver Lining. Memorable, big, heavy riffs, and probably has one of my favorite choruses in this entire catalog. It's just so good. Again, it brings you, it drops in that late 60s kind of psychedelic pop, garage pop element thing, which is just absolutely amazing. The Dead Don't Speak is big and crushing. Strange Sister, I think that was the single released on the album or the first video. That's just a great groove-laden heavy rock. Just so good. And then you get the slow, doomy blues of Nothing Left to Lose, But My Life. Has some really good emotional vocals and lots of great guitar work. I think it's an awesome album. Probably would be my number one if it wasn't for my actual number one, which is Lucifer 2 from 2018. So this is the first with a totally revamped lineup, right? The lineup on the first album is completely gone. You got Johanna is left alongside Martin Norden on guitars, Linus Bjorklund on guitars, also Robin Tidebrink on guitars, 3 guitar players on here. They got a session bass, or I think Nicky Anderson also joins on drums and plays some guitars and bass. He helps on the bass, although right after the release of the album, Harold Gothblad would join the band on a permanent basis. So Johanna sounds even more confident on this album. And the music, more of in a hard rock style with lots of dark overtones. So a lot of the, it's less doom-laden than the first for sure. California Sun, raging, catchy, heavy rock. Guitars, Hammond organ, it's all here. Great song. Dreamer, that is a ultra cool song. It shows their kind of growing interest, which we'll see on all the albums coming after it, in this kind of dark psychedelic pop music. It's dreamy, it's intoxicating, but it's still heavy at the same time. Very, very cool song. Phoenix, crisp, crutchy hard rocker, great hook on the chorus. You have an awesome cover of Dancing with Mr. D from the Stones. I remember the first time I heard this album, I'm playing it, I wasn't really looking at the track list, and I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, this is good. I kind of know this. And then the chorus came out, I'm like, holy shit, that's Dancing with Mr. D from Rolling Stones. I'm like, it's just so good. What a great, great cover. Reaper on Your Heels is grinding, heavy rock. Love that. Eyes in the Sky, probably one of the real and only doom tracks on the album. That's a really good one. You got Johanna just floating over the top over these massive, massive riffs. Excellent, excellent track. What else we got here? Before the Sun, groovy, yet melancholy. Aton is very, very trippy. Very psychedelic. Sounds like it could have come from the San Francisco psychedelic scene, like circa 1968 or 69. Really good. Really, really good song. And then Faux Pharaoh is the big, heavy, kind of doomy closer. I guess so you got a couple doom tracks on here, right? But it's a killer album all the way through. Really, really good. And just, I think for now anyway, it's still probably my favorite because there's just some songs on here that just kick absolute ass. Really, really good. But you know what? I love the new one too, so these are almost neck and neck. But yeah. So that's where we're going to go. Number 2 as my favorite. Number 5, Lucifer 1, Lucifer 3, and then Lucifer 4 rounds out my top 5. But like I said, you can't go wrong with any of these at all. I would highly recommend checking out the entire catalog. Yeah, you've got some places to start, but again, if you're someone who is just totally off-put by anything that sounds like it might be kind of evil, right? But you like heavy music. First of all, most heavy music has lots of evil stuff going on. So it's like if you're into metal and heavy rock, I mean, that's... But anyway, if you're really hung up on the name of the band, please go give them a listen because I think you will fall in love with these guys. They're so good. Johanna's vocals are just absolutely amazing. There's great riffs everywhere you turn, great soloing, short, punchy, catchy songs. Some of the stuff is doomy. Some of the stuff is just oozing 60s psychedelia. There's pop going on in these albums. I mean, a little bit of everything. Killer, killer band. One of my favorite bands going today. Of the like newer guard, they've only been around for X number of years, right? Not a lot. So yeah, Lucifer, that's my ranking. Hope you love these albums. For those who do know the band quite well, rank them down in the comments as you like them. But if you've never listened to them before and you're watching this, please go listen to some of these albums. Come back and let us know what you think. That's the important thing, right? So we're all trying to discover new music, myself included. I discover new stuff all the time, all the damn time. And we'll see you next week here on Ranking the Albums. I believe it will be myself and Grant Arthur. God, what are we doing next week? Kind of lost track. I think we're doing Firefall next week, but I don't remember. We got lots of cool ones coming up. So we got Firefall coming up. We've got Mark Farner solo. We got Tommy Shaw solo. Paul McCartney solo. Sodom is coming up. Enforcer, Anthrax. Loads of stuff happening in the weeks and months ahead as far as ranking the albums go. We've got Angra is coming up. George and me and I are going to be doing Angra. Stephen Reed and I have to circle back and do Palace and The Tangent. Tangent new album just came out, so it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's really hard with these current bands because these albums just come out so fast and furious. It's like, you want to do a ranking and then all of a sudden a new album's on the horizon. You're like, well, I better wait for that new one, and then other priorities happen, and then by the time you go to circle back, another new album's ready to come out. Never ends. So anyway, thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there. And last but not least, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I will be enjoying the day, spending it with my mother and my wife and my daughter-in-law. All great moms, and hope you're doing the same with yours today. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.